to go. Um, let's talk about a very interesting topic for a few minutes, and then I will get us into some reactions and reviews. So, this week's topic is kind of interesting, right? Um, this is a topic where um, I've spoke about it vaguely, like here or there, but this is a topic that I don't think I've really like hammered down on and really like explained the logic behind certain things. So I came across um a very interesting tweet, and we're not gonna pull the tweet up or anything like that. I think the tweet itself just kind of sparked like the thought process within me. So let's get into it. All right, man. So what are we talking about today? The infamous topic of, does short form content matter? Does creating content matter in general as a musician? Oh boy. This is a good one here. This is a fucking good one, let me tell you. Okay. So like I said, uh I saw a tweet yesterday. It kind of inspired me to kind of like double down on the topic and really made me want to explain the idea and logic behind content, right? So somebody had a tweet yesterday, and it was something along the lines of, if you're a musician and you don't create daily content in today's climate, you might want to kiss that dream goodbye. And it's kind of like an insane tweet, right? Because like they're mostly wrong. They are mostly wrong. But it sparked the whole conversation of like rappers shouldn't need to make content. We shouldn't have to do this. We shouldn't have to do that. Look, this topic can stem into a whole lot of other topics, right? So, for instance, musicians should already be being paid way more for streams and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? That whole musicians being paid unfairly is kind of like the catalyst to why content has become king when it comes to music and art, right? So now that there's that notion, right? I think there's a type of person we have to exclude from this conversation as well. So if you're a person, a musician, a creator, and you just love creating and you don't care if you make a career and you don't care if you monetize yourself, this conversation is definitely not for you, right? If you just love what you do and you don't care where it goes, that's fine. By all means, go have your fun. That's cool. But this topic is not for those people. This topic is for the people that do want to have a successful career in whatever they do, right? Whether you're a designer, a musician, you're a painter, you're a producer, you're an engineer, whatever. So, when it comes to getting paid as a musician, the first thing that people think of is just streaming revenue in general, right? Everybody gets a DistroKid check, everybody gets a SoundCloud check, everybody might get some royalties here or there. Maybe you got a good song and it did some numbers and you got splits and whatever, right? That's that once a month kind of check. Like you're only getting that check once per month. So even as like a semi-successful musician, right? Like say you had like a couple million monthlies, right? Say you had 2 million monthlies, right? And you're making what? Mm, depends, right? Depends what you're streaming and X, Y, or Z. So let's call it like five figures, right? Let's call it about five figures. If you're waiting on that check once per month, right? And you have insurance, you have a house, you have rent, you have electricity, you have pets, you have other fucking, expenses, that streaming check is not going to cut it. And like even more so, that's being generous with a person who's already doing a lot of numbers, right? So that's like a big fucking problem. Is like most people aren't doing numbers like that, right? Maybe you're blessed with like a couple thousand monthly. Maybe you got 10K. Maybe you got 20K monthly. Maybe you got upwards of six figures. Who knows? But even being in like the millions of monthly listeners is kind of generous, right? Because not a lot of people are. Um, So you might be able to even get away with it there. But again, on a month to month basis, with it, maybe sometimes being late if you're an independent artist and you're not dealing with a label or X, Y, or Z. You can't count on that. You know what I mean? Like newsflash, like that's why like you can't count on like paper checks and this, that, and the third, and like direct deposit is a thing, right? Because like waiting on the mail. You know what I mean? Like it'll probably be there on time, but there is always that off chance that it's not there on time, right? So as a musician, right, and as time went on, um, there became other avenues available for people to kind of monetize themselves, right? You saw a lot of producers and rappers start streaming. You saw a lot of producers and rappers start Patrons. You saw a lot of them start doing merch. You saw a lot of them start doing shows. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, like you're starting to like pull in revenue, whether it be large or small amounts of revenue from other places, right? You're getting paid from here, you're getting paid from there, and you have your general streaming check, which you're guaranteed every month. So you're like, okay, um, but where does all this content come in? Well, the thing is like, I think there was like a tweet from like Kenny Beats like not too long ago about if you get into music to like get rich, like this is probably like one of the worst careers to do it in. And like to an extent, he's not wrong, but that's just if you're like depending on just music, right? So that's the kind of bullet that I think like splits everybody because like some people like want to monetize themselves but only want to make money from music. Well, the reality of it is you make a lot more revenue from multiple other places, right? Because a lot of people are going to fuck with you as a person if they fuck with your music. You know what I mean? So they want to see you streaming. They want to see you doing X, Y, or Z. They want to see your TikToks. They want to see blah, 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 blah. Right? But when it comes down to like the morality of it and like what people think of like creating content, whatever your content is, um, some people just look at it in like a real negative way. And I don't think it should be looked at as like a negative thing, right? Because it's 2024. This whole internet money personality kind of monetization deal hasn't been around for that long, right? Like 20 years ago, you couldn't fucking upload a video to YouTube for free and fucking go viral off it. You couldn't upload it to TikTok. You literally couldn't download a free DAW and upload a song to a distro and get on Spotify in less than a week. That was not possible 20 years ago. That was not a thing. You could not do that 20 years ago at all. Even if you were a musician, you were paying for fucking studio time, you were paying to get your CDs pressed up so you could give them away for free. Like, bro, people don't understand like how easy we actually do have it. And if you're like ultra complaining that you have to create content to monetize yourself, bro, in some cases I do agree that you might be in the wrong line of work, right? Like this isn't like 1879 anymore where you can go paint a painting in the middle of a fucking field. Some people are just going to like toss coins in a fucking bucket. That's not how it is, bro. Like that's not how it is. And like again, if you want to make like a real honest living from this, you're gonna have to do other shit. You know what I mean? Like never lose sight on the music and the art and the goals, right? Like make music like your number one always, but create a brand for yourself, right? So once you create a brand for yourself, you're going down in different lanes and picking up different audience members, right? So all this content and all these TikToks and all this skit shit, it's not just for engagement and to go viral. Like yeah, the numbers are great and all that, but that doesn't equal a check. You could have a video do 1 million on TikTok and you're not going to make fucking shit off of it. But what you will gain is that exposure that you wouldn't normally be getting. Right? So you take that exposure and you double it up and you double it up and you keep dropping content here and you keep dropping content here. And eventually, a lot of those people from that viral video drop off onto your real schedule and your real content, right? And your real moves. So it's a nerdy game, bro, but it's how it is. It's how it fucking is. Like if you actually care about your career and it's something you really want to do and you want to see, Music Mondays or Zom Slays and you really want to see that idea prosper, you should be comfortable with like creating different forms of content. And I don't think you need to be creating content daily, right? I think right off the bat when it comes to that tweet that I had spoke about in the start of this conversation, I think creating content daily is unrealistic. You have no time to create art as it is, right? Most of us have to work a job, blah, blah, blah. A lot of people don't have a manager, right? So they don't have a Zom in their corner doing X, Y, or Z. So they're truly like fully solo DIY. Like a lot of people can't post TikToks daily and create in the studio and da 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 da. Like So I do think like the daily thing is like a bit of a stretch. Like nobody posts daily. You know what I mean? I think maybe even every other day is still stretching it, but doable. But posting daily is just not a thing, you know. So that's where I don't agree. I would never advise any of my staff or any of my artists to post every single fucking day. Like I don't think it's just not logical. You know what I mean? It's just not fucking logical. So it begs the question, right? Like, does it matter? Well, you have to ask yourself, what do you want from this? You know what I mean? Because if you want to make money from your music, the unfortunate real answer is you're going to have to make a lot more than just music to make a living. And that's just how it is. But you can look at it in two ways. You can look at it and be like, oh, damn, it's not about the art anymore, and da 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 da. Or you can look at the fact that 20 years ago, you couldn't do any of this. You couldn't go make a bag off of TikTok. You couldn't go make a bag off of YouTube. You couldn't go make a bag off of Twitch 20 fucking years ago. That was not a thing. Like, all the other artists before us had it way fucking harder than we do now. Like, it's literally a matter of a 30-second clip going viral and your career is, like, off the fucking wall. And people, you know, they try to, like, stigmatize the idea of it and, you know, blah, 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 blah. It's not right. It sucks. Like, music is subjective. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You know, there's a lot of dog shit out there that I don't like. You know what I mean? As far as, like, mainstream stuff goes. But people do. Like, what the fuck are you gonna do about it? You know what I mean? But it's one of those things as to where like it's a great fucking tool, right? And if you can find a schedule for yourself of content that you like doing as an artist, like that's where people get it twisted too, is you don't need to go out and go do skit content and go make cutesy fucking TikToks and fucking you don't have to do any of that. Find content that you like, right? If you're a horror movie fan, fucking you know, go do horror shit. Go talk horror. If you're a fucking gamer, go fucking do blah 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 blah. Like there's a real easy way to like figure out what kind of content you want to create as an artist, right? Because again, eventually it's going to be those people that see that type of shit that want to buy your merch, that want to come to your shows, that like your music, that like your art. You know what I mean? So a lot of this is like world building. It's audience building. It's not just for cheap numbers. It's not spamming TikToks for views. Like that's not the logic behind it. Like it's about building a fucking brand. You know what I mean? Like it's about building a fucking brand. People want to talk about, "Oh, you're not a musician anymore," and blah 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 blah. Brother, eh, like all right. Like again, back to the point. Like would you rather have these tools there for free by the way and be able to use them, or would you rather it be way fucking harder? Like way fucking harder, regardless of skill or who's good and who's not good and blah 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 blah. It was again 10 times harder to do the shit that we do now. And yeah, it might have led to some oversaturation in this that, and the third, but all the real hardworking artists and musicians and creatives know that those people fall off anyway. It's like somebody who like they talk the talk but they don't walk the walk. You know what I mean? Like a billion people can start and try to make music and art, but that doesn't mean a billion people are going to have the opportunity to get on. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the real ones know that like we have persevered through times and trends and different other shit, bro. Like it was really like it was a very different climate. Like fuck, even 10 years ago in 2014 it was a very different climate. You know what I mean? So now it's just like you have all these wonderful tools to be able to monetize yourself and like serve your supporters and fans and audience like an honest genuine experience, you know what I mean? So I don't think people should be like shitting on the idea of it. And I'm not saying I like it either, you know what I mean? I don't like the short form content game as much as anybody else does, you know what I mean? I was a YouTube kid, you know what I mean? Like way before shorts and TikToks and Vine and shit. Like I saw the whole fucking trend, you know what I mean? So I'm not any more of a fan of it than anybody else is, right? But when it comes down to like making use of it and like actually putting yourself out there and like gaining, a few new supporters here and doing this here and da 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 da, you're opening all these lanes for yourself to be able to be monetized and actually build a brand for yourself. You know what I mean? So I don't think you should look at it as like a bad thing. It's definitely not a bad thing. And no, you don't have to post daily. You don't have to fucking you don't have to uh uh kind of like act fake or do any like weird NPC shit. You don't have to do any of that, man. You really don't. Like, as long as you do content that you're natural with and you're having fun with, it'll be solid. Um, and I'm not even saying you gotta go out and be like a full fledged like content creator. You know, you can still do 90% music, but if you're taking videos in the studio, why wouldn't you post it on TikTok anyway? Why wouldn't you do that? You know what I mean? Like, that's content. You know, like people say the word content and they get all bugged out because they think it's like fucking filming and editing and influencers and creators and da da da. I hate to break it to you, but music is content. Designing is content. That's creating content. You are creating a piece of content to be consumed. Okay, so just fucking that whole notion has got to go too. You know what I mean? Like that whole stigma that word has got to go too. It's just a broad term. You know what I mean? It's too broad of a term for my liking, but it's what it is. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of serious people need to get a fucking grip and like not expect like all this shit to work the same for everybody. You know what I mean? Like everybody pops off in a different fashion. Everybody has a different style, a different audience. There's an ass for every single seat. You know what I mean? But if the tools are there, why wouldn't you use them? For free, by the way. For free. You can upload unlimited amounts of videos on YouTube for free. Same thing with TikTok. For free. Like, motherfucker, like, it'd be a different story if you had to, like, pay for subscriptions and there was this, that, and the third. Like, bro, these platforms are here to be utilized. You should be abusing them. You should absolutely be abusing them. And find shit that you enjoy to post. Don't just fucking, uh, try to follow trends and shit because that's obvious. You stick out like a sore thumb if you start trying to do shit that people have done before, or you're doing fake shit, or you're doing skits, and like if that's what you like to do it, but don't go that route because you think it's gonna do numbers. Get the number shit out of your head. Create shit that you enjoy because if you enjoy it, you're gonna find your audience. Same logic behind music, literally. Literally the same logic behind music. Like that's why people make certain types of music. They make music that they enjoy. They make music that they would listen to and that they would want to do. And like every artist who's ever gotten on makes music like that because they enjoy it. They make what they like, fuck what you like, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So take that mindset and put it behind the content. It's really the same deal, and it's all for you, right? It's all self promotion. It's all building your platforms, and it's just a good digital footprint. You know what I mean? It's a good digital footprint. So it matters. It definitely matters. But I'm not saying fucking stretch your life out over it and become a full fledged creator and worry too much about the content as to where you're not in the studio and shit. Like, no, that's unacceptable. But you're sitting in the studio for fucking 8 hours anyway making beats. Motherfucker, film a video. Like, it takes 2 seconds. You know what I mean? Cut it, clip it, ship it, post it. What the fuck's the problem? You know what I mean? People act like making content is like somebody has like a gun to your head and they're like, yeah, man, you gotta make this fucking TikTok or I'm not giving you this contract. Bro, you're just giving yourself a better fucking chance, bro. Like that's what like I don't look, bro. I'm not gonna sit here and try to like change anybody's mind, right? But I do think that people have a very like wrong idea on like why it matters, and they don't really like understand the logistics behind it. Everybody just thinks that it's just aimless numbers fishing and fucking, you know, there's a real logic behind it, you know. And at the end of the day, if you can land in somewhere in the middle as to where you can create some fun content for yourself that other people do enjoy along with your music, it's just all the more better for you as a creator. And whatever it is, I'm not even talking about just strictly TikTok. It doesn't even have to be short form shit. You know, like you could be a fucking YouTuber on the side and nobody knows it. You know, like some history YouTuber or something. You know what I mean? Like you can do whatever you want. But again, um, it's a win-win because they like you're doing content you enjoy, you have the chance to actually monetize it, and it doesn't affect your music or your art or your design or whatever you're doing. So it's like, I don't know, man. Like, I get it. Like, there's some people who are like camera shy and shit, but you should be at least posting certain shit. You know what I mean? And get yourself in a fucking schedule. And, I could go on and on and on about this. You know what I mean? Same thing I talk with all my artists about, but at the end of the day, bro, like, you're only going to want it bad enough. You're only going to want it as I don't know, bro. It's just it really boggles my mind sometimes because it's like it's not asking much. You know what I mean? Like it's really not asking much. But I think people make it like it's like mowing the lawn or something. Like, brother, like you're filming a fucking video like about your music, or you're creating a little like meme or anything. Like, you didn't even have to be on the camera, you know what I mean? Like, you could just make a meme, spend 20 minutes editing a video with your song into it, you know what I mean? And then boom, there's your content. Like, so yeah, I don't know. People kind of like overcomplicate it, and like instead of like looking at the facts and like the trends and like who's done what with what, they just kind of like go overboard and they're like, you're not a real musician. All you care about is TikTok and da 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 da. This doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Look, bro, believe the hype. Okay, believe the hype. Believe the hype, because TikTok's a very easy platform to go viral on, for sure. Especially when it comes to music and memes. You know what I mean? People like music and memes, for sure. And then like if you like doing other side shit, that's even better, right? So like I said, you do movie content, you take photos, maybe you um are a gamer on the side or whatever. You know what I mean? Because a lot of those things go hand in hand anyway. Like you're not gonna find many things that music doesn't go with. So you can create about multiple things if you really wanted to. You know what I mean? And not feel like such a like a crabs in a barrel mentality with music. So um yeah, man, build a brand for yourself, monetize, post everywhere, work hard, and just be honest, man. Be honest with yourself, and don't do anybody wrong. And just love what you do, dog. Just enjoy your content, man, and you'll be fine. So um, definitely let us know what you think. I'm sure there'll be there's definitely some thoughts and opinions out there about the about the short form content kind of deal, but definitely let us know what you think. And don't worry about the internet climate. You know what I mean? Keep your heads up and just do shit that you think is fun, but work hard. So. But that'll definitely be uploaded on the channel. Definitely drop a like on the video, subscribe. We upload 2 times a week on the channel, every Thursday, every Saturday. Motherfucker drill, man. Let's get it. Let's fucking go.